them to keep their minds open and just watch instead of judge initially. And they did. I was lucky that they did, and they were lucky that they did. And so basically, when I brought these teams together and I invited the boss to share what she's doing, to share the initiatives that she's trying and that she's been working on for months, and they understand the context of the organization. They know things are difficult. They know things are slow. So they're not going to judge her when they understand that she's really behaving in ways that are pro-team, even if they didn't see it. So when they started to suddenly see this, they thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Now I feel, empathy for her. Wow, she's doing so much work fighting a system, knowing that it might not happen, but she still does it. They started to feel appreciation. They started to be more open and feel more open and then behave that way. And so things started to turn when they were just communicating. And when I asked this team to share with her, what do they see? Not what she is or what they feel. What do they see? They see no information. They see the information they don't see the information they want to see. They see a person who's super busy because she's reacting to fires, so it doesn't look like she's open door. So when they shared that with her, she was like, oh, well, this is happening because of this. When I'm not in the office, I'm reacting to fires. So to keep things cool so you guys can do your work. And so when they started to communicate and break down the barriers of a boss should, she was thinking a boss should have it all done, a boss should talk to people, when things are already successful, a boss should be able to do everything perfectly, a boss should be able to do everything on her own. And the team was expecting that as well. And then she was expecting the team should be going in flow, they should be communicating, cooperating, solving problems together, innovating amidst this constraint environment, knowing that they're skilled people and that they're super. And they thought that they should be waiting for her to tell them what to do. Not because they couldn't do things, not because they didn't know how, or they weren't skilled, or they didn't want to take responsibility, but because the hierarchy of the organization was kind of influencing everyone in a way that boss knows everything and nobody else does, so they just listen. And these people wanted to do something different within a very hierarchical and domineering and patriarchal environment. They said, no, it doesn't work. Even with our little team, we can do something differently. And so we started, and then we started to redefine, what does it mean to be a boss or a leader, a team leader? What does it mean to be a team? What does it mean to be collaborative and innovative and communicate? Do we communicate through email and then have all these email trails that are long and nobody can understand them, so nobody reads them? And because people were doing that to kind of, cover their tracks instead of really communicate? Or could someone pick up the phone or actually walk to the area colleagues who are right in the same space and talk things through? Is it safe enough? So after we started to bring out, we had to identify the triads initially. Where are we? What is the status of our situation internally? We have to look internally. What do we think? What do we feel? What do we do? How is that interpreted? And then we break it down and share each person's point of view. And then we go away. And we take some time, meaning I go away, the staff and the teams work together, and then in 2 or 4 weeks, we come back together and talk. What was different? What is the triad of the boss? What is the triad of the team? What needs to shift? What behaviors is everybody using on a repetitive basis to get XYZ results? Are those results the ones you want? And so we go through a process of this, meeting every 2 weeks for a few months, to then sort this through and then come to triads where everyone feels resourceful every day. And I can tell you, with that specific client, it was transformational because they never believed that anything could be different. They had so much frustration and anger that it was toxic, and a lot of people were getting sick. And so after we did that, they started and they had a happiness and, positivity meeting every month so that they could keep this up when I, as the coach, left, so that they can start to inherently use the triads and the basic needs and, using emotions as data and sitting at the Chiropoulos, all the human-centric leading tools to be able to navigate their own trip for one triad to another, from the triad they had, which they may not like, to the triad they wanted, and to work toward that. So it is why human-centric leading can create transformation, not change. Transformation because these tools allow people to then do this on their own, and they're like, what was I thinking? What was I feeling? How was I behaving? Because we often focus on what was I thinking. Some people then look at behavior, what was I doing? But most of us don't. And far fewer say, how was I feeling? But when you put them all together, it makes sense. And you can understand yourself better, but also others. If you sit here and you look at that and you can say, I understand that. I don't agree with that, but I can understand how that could happen. And then you sit from this perspective and you're sitting here and then you say, I could understand how she was having that initial triad. It didn't look that way, but I could understand it. And then you're able to empathize and also work through any misunderstandings. And those are more deep levels of how then do you communicate about problems in a respectful way. List them, talk about them in a judgment-free awareness. And that's how you can sort through any problem.